family, friends,
We're
people.
all here again.
We're all here, all five.
Yes.
And we have a pretty fucking cool show today,
Yes, we do.
I think.
Totally
Anyway.
awesome.
Because there's a guest on it.
Oh, because we have an awesome guest on.
Because no one wants to listen to just us.
Right. It's okay, Tony does, but that's one person. We'll take that. Okay, so this is well, I can just get right into it.
Yeah, let's go.
David Chateauneuf. Did I pronounce that right?
Hey, it's perfect, man.
Oh,
You
perfect.
Oh,
Yes.
yay.
so
You didn't
perfectly.
you didn't screw it up,
Proud of
Steve.
you.
Good job.
And for anyone who doesn't know who he is, I like to say that he is responsible for so many nightmares because he is the co-founder of Red Barrels Games, which is the company that made the Outlast games, which is
Yep.
incredible games.
I would like to
And-
add maybe he's responsible for a lot of soiled pants too.
I would say that's very accurate.
Considering how scary the
I'm
Outlast
going
games
through
are.
3 pairs of boxer shorts.
Oh man.
So yeah, thank you so much for being with us, David.
Well, it's really a pleasure for me to talk to you guys, because people were talking about like us for a while now, but it's always good to to still have like people interested in. When we decided to do that game, we tried to do a game that would scare us at least a little bit, because we knew since you do the game, you know all the tricks, you know all the tension, you know when the guy's gonna jump on your face. And I was like, at least if that game that we're doing is gonna scare me a little bit, since I'm just watching horror movies over and over, I'm not sensitive at all to all those things. So I was like, if it can get scared just a little bit, I think like most people are just gonna be having heart attack or something. So and it kind of did work on me too at some point, but like most of the time, it's like, am I doing right? Like, is it does the game is gonna be that scary? You never know until pretty much sounds and characters and the graphic is there. And I think I'm glad that we did something kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, I think you guys succeeded in the
Yeah, I
scare
was gonna say you can
factor.
judge your success, I guess, on that level of how scared you might get yourself. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of. But I think for Outlast 2, because I'm spoiling a little bit of the thing, but I think for Outlast 2 is going to be much more harder for us. We're going into complete new direction, and we'll see if we can get scared easily on our side as well.
We understand. Now, I know that even before, Red Barrels was even a thing, I know you've kind of had your hand in other games as well. So, what really made you get into making video games in the first place?
Oh yeah, well it's a while ago. Like I can say that personally, it was in 1997. I was at school, and then we heard that Ubisoft. I heard that Ubisoft was on his way to come in Montreal, and I just jumped into the artistic course, because my mom and dad are also artists, and my dad is a artist teacher. So I've got all that crazy weird ideas in my head. I'm always I was always a freaky guy, watching horror movies, and having always weird ideas, and sleeping in school. So and I don't know, Ubisoft grabbed me, and then I got hired at the same time as Philippe Morin, who is one of the other co-founder. And I guess in 19 when Ubisoft arrived, Hugo Dallaire was always one of the first guy that joined Ubisoft. So then we just rank up into Ubisoft, and at some point you just want to change a little bit. You're getting more, you're getting more skill, and you know how to produce games, and you know how to manage people. You just want new challenges.
Yeah.
So after 10 years at Ubisoft, it was probably like that for me, Phil. Hugo, he decided to quit Ubisoft sooner to start EA Montreal with Alain Tasquin. And what happened then? Phil and I just worked back together, and he he went to Naughty Dog, so he gained some experiences how to create game in the another way. Uh, on my side, I decided to finish what I started, and at some point we just met together at EA while and that happened. We just our project got canceled. So we decided to, instead of like switching 4 quarters for $1, like we decided to just to go for something completely new, and then that's how like Red Barrow started, and got born.
Very
Awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like most of us, like if like Hugo Dallaire was the artistic director of the first Splinter Cell, which also got like made like a lot of make a good success. On my side, I decided to go some for like Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Then
Great
the
game.
same team decided to do Assassin's Creed, the first one. But I still like did some like a weird game that is not me at all, like Donald Duck going crackers on the PS2. It's so not me, but it's like it was it was my first real game, and I learned a lot there. For Phil, actually, like he worked on the Uncharted. He worked as well
Awesome.
on
That's
at
very cool.
Ubisoft on the first Prince of Persia as well, doing all the camera angles, and then designing the whole scripted event and cinematic aspect, because he got a background in cinema and in movies, and he knows pretty well how to like write down the script and build up stories. So I guess me as like a horror freak, you go as the artistic director that knows how to play with like night vision, lights and shadow, and feel as a story guy. Like I guess like if you mix all that together, it results to become it result as Outlast, which
Right.
is like
Yeah.
I think it's great to have someone like that, to
yeah,
to
well,
influence, have that
you want
influence.
to focus on your strength and not like trying to go like I couldn't do a freaking splinter not a splinter cell but an iPhone game. I couldn't do it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to force player into getting stars, 1 2 3 stars, and then just like switching things with your fingers. Like it's not me at all. Like I need a strength, a big story. I need
Right.
something triple A,
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, David, was a horror game like with when you started Outlast? Well, I mean, when you started at Red Barrel and this company, was a horror game always your first idea?
Definitely not. Actually, it was kind of I'll say it, a freaking pain in the ass to redefine what the game would be. We had like a list of different games that came up in our mind. Since Phil is a pretty good fan of Clint Eastwood, we at some point we thought that we could do some Western game. But me, on the other hand, I was like, I don't know what could I do with that. I think by looking at all those comments on the website, like where people were saying there's not really like good scary games now. It's mostly just action, and people were just they just wanted a good fright.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
So
true.
and even for me, I mean I've got all the all the horror games on my PC on Steam, and uh, I was just playing that over and over for a while, and it's true. Those guys like they're right. So it was like, and when we played Amnesia, it was like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool, and no weapon. Oh, no weapon. That's pretty much what like came in our mind as like a new way of explaining a story into a like new setup, no weapons. Like okay, that's cool. There's something there. But we already had that idea at Ubisoft. We wanted to do an horror games, and but we couldn't do it. Like it was not the plan for Ubisoft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we came back with that idea, and by looking at Amnesia, it was like okay, there's definitely something. People are like they want good horror games, so let's try to do it. That's
Awesome.
what we That's
And
how
you
it
did it.
came to our mind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, let me ask you. You say you're a horror nut, and I like to think I'm a horror nut myself.
Okay.
Um,
You want to
but
test
you,
my skill?
there you go. But when you play through Outlast, you can really see a lot of like classic horror influences going on in there. And I was just wondering what influences went into Outlast. I mean, what inspired that game?
Well, the whole music aspect was based on The Shining. You know, like
Sweet.
the
Isn't that
whole
what you said?
music.
That's- When I
Like
was playing,
what?
when I was playing through it before we were gonna have you on. Before I said I want to ask him about The Shining because I feel like there's a lot of The Shining going on in that game. So that's really
Yeah,
cool.
definitely. Like is all at the place. Definitely, like that. The mood and the music was something pretty cool that we grabbed from The Shining. Um, there's also, have you heard about like it's a movie called Robert Johnny. It's from Chris Kennigan.
No.
There's like if you type that like on YouTube, you're gonna see a pretty weird montage. It's like a small movie for music. Actually, it's just I think just a music, but then the way it's filmed, it's really creepy. There's like that huge like weird guy on the chair, and it's night vision.
Oh, that'll do
yes.
it. That'll do
Yeah.
it.
And that was also some kind of cool stuff that got in our head, so we could throw it out after that. But in terms of movies, I would say there's a lot of small sequences here and there that inspired us. In the movie The Ward, there's the Session 9 also inspired us pretty much, like creepy hold abandoned asylum. And as we produced the game, I heard about like the grave digger. No, it was there's that group of teenagers that goes into a haunted
Is it Grave
asylum.
Encounters?
Yeah, Grave Encounters.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
I love
And
that
we heard
movie.
about that. It's like, oh no, are we doing that movie? Because I didn't know. I didn't watch those movies before, and it's like, oh no, it's so the same, except that they have like ghosts and not like inmates, like crazy
Yeah.
inmates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's not that. No, it's not gonna be. Nobody's gonna compare the game to that movie, because anyway, like pretty much everything has been done before. It's so hard to find something that, like, you come up with the only thing that nobody thought about. So it was like, oh, it's in terms of realization and mood that we're gonna be like special. But
Nice.
there was
Awesome.
also some other our movies. I mean, like all the like the scare jumps and stuff like that. You build up attention. There's nothing, and then something happens.
Yeah.
Like I've got like I try to, well, I said hi because I was always like trying to write down references from that movie. Okay, this one is good. This, like just for instance, the Jacob's ladder, the sequences when he's trapped on a on a table and he's bringing to a creepy room. I was like, oh, that is cool. We should do it. And then we did it for the we did it for the trigger scene when he grabs us and then on the wheelchair and then brings us like on the third floor. So it's like, okay, that thing is freaking creepy and it's gonna.
Yeah.
It
Trader is
works.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out
Absolutely.
And I think any horror movie, I think a big thing in horror movies is the sound. So you know what I mean, like when the sounds
Have,
of
like,
the
that
movie,
background
yeah,
music and
just-
stuff too. It's
It's
yeah,
a
really
key part of it. So
brings
you,
it
you
all
did a
together.
great job with that.
Sound is like a 50% and sometimes even more
Right.
part of the experience of a game. So we
Yeah.
had to find the right people, and we have a contract with the guy from Game On Audio, which is like a small company here in Montreal that helps mostly the big companies to do like their the small movies inside games like cinematics and stuff. But then they wanted to become like more involved into the production of the games. So they said like, we know, well, you guys, you know what, we could like help you building up the sound for the games, and they had like pretty talented guy there that knew about horror games and horror movies. So we worked closely with them to produce and to have like, the best mood possible. It was really, really, really inspiring and pretty cool because I never worked on a game that the sound was that really important. You know,
Right.
Splinter Cell and Prince of Persia, it's mostly action and stealth, but then like having the sound being really part of a gameplay and then like level design features was something that we didn't know. And working with those guys and really trying to beat to work to create beats and mood and ambience. It was quite a challenge for us, and I think those guys did well.
Yeah, you pulled it
Very
off.
well.
I agree.
Back to what you said about not having weapons in the game. Did not having like a battle system make it a lot easier for basically because you're just running around with the camera, you can't actually fight anyone? Does that make it easier to make the game?
Actually, like not having, because you know what, like as soon as you give something to the player, even if like in real life you wouldn't like fight, in video games, since you're not really in danger, if you give the player a hammer or anything, he's gonna think, oh well, I'm gonna use it for defending myself.
Right.
So there was obviously no doubt that we couldn't like put a weapon into the player's hand, and but focus on the what we call like a free gameplay moment, because sometimes it's mostly when there are no enemies, and well, that's something we realize that the game is sometimes even more effective. It's by not having enemies and not having weapons, but just sound and ambience and mood that will result into something that is something we really want. Because like sometimes it was like, oh, there's no enemy, there's no gameplay, it's not gonna be scary. But we kind of learned that like by like getting rid of enemies and battle and stealth moment, that sometimes it's even more effective.
Yeah, it was very effective.
Yeah, it worked well.
Yeah, so we have to balance that, and you know that is something we learned during the production. It's not like we've been born to to produce our games. So but it was really interesting. You know, Condemn like has something a little bit similar. They I think they went into something cool as well, as like not having weapons, but uh, and and pipes and wood plank that you can find at some points, but they can break, and you cannot have more than one weapon in your hand. So they went into something kind of cool as well, but we prefer not dealing with AI with
Yeah.
you know, guns and weapons. Well, like AI, the AI guy could have weapons, but at least they're not trying to shoot you, because
Yeah.
we wanted the enemy to be closer to the player.
Mm-hmm.
So by having the enemies having guns, not really scary, but it's more stressful, which is for us it was not the same. Like we don't want a stressful situation, but a scary situation where enemies are trying to get as close as possible to you.
Right. Without
Well,
yeah, like you said.
I'd have to say, you definitely induced a lot of anxiety and stress from that game. I mean, it was still scary,
sure?
but I mean, when you
But
know,
not
you
having a weapon
yeah, like
will
when
do
you
that.
like when you're trying to like hurry up and like open up a door or like push something out of the way just to open up a door, and there's things that are like trying to chase after you. Yeah, I got a little stressed out.
Way more- yeah,
on-
that makes
on
it
that
more-
one.
way more
That makes it-
scarier.
Yeah.
Well, plus it's like we've played Outlast multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's scary every time. And I refuse to play with the lights on. And it's like, I can't even imagine even playing Outlast with a weapon. Because I love that you don't have anything to defend yourself with. I think it's
I think
perfect.
it makes it way better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
think that
too.
was a great.
I'm a huge fan,
great
David.
choice.
So thank you.
Well, you know what? Actually, there was something that was kind of special, because to make sure that game was really scary, we had to ask like players to try it, and actually women were more responsible. How do you say that? They were more into the game, because like most of the time, like our games, or it's mostly action. You got a gun, and guys like it. But then now there was more women saying, "Oh, the game is cool," and they are a huge part of our fan base. They really talk a lot about it, and because it's not just like shooting and
I
I
felt
don't
like
know
more
like
aware of my surroundings and like just
um,
real alert about what I was gonna do.
yeah.
Because
Really careful. You
I
have to be
didn't want
really
to get
fucking
caught,
careful.
and I'm usually really bad at stealth games. So like, I'm just going super slow and creeping around because I'm like, I don't want Christopher fucking Walker to like grab me and like kill me. But it's not even like I just want to commend you because it's not even about like how scared I was. I absolutely love Miles. I love Eddie. I think Eddie is an incredible character, and Waylon, and like it took me 2 times to realize, and I'm like embarrassed to say this, but it took me 2 times to realize. I'm like geeking out right now. I'm sorry, but it took me it took me like 2 times to realize that Waylon was the anonymous tip that Miles got, which
Yeah.
is the reason he went. Like I don't know. I just love it so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing with the DLC was because we wanted to do something like because people were saying, oh, well, half of the player, I would say most of the player were complaining about the end of Outlast because like well, in every freaking horror movie, it's ends bad. So and since we were like we're in a small indie company, we were like, okay, let's do something that the big studio are not gonna do. It's like something risky that maybe everybody's gonna like bash on it, and you know what? It's actually there's a 50% of the player like the game because and like especially because of the ending. Like there was it's not everyone that like said like, the game is really bad because of the end of the game. Because there was really some of the people that said like that that's really a piece of art because they really made it through the like with an ending like really different from most of the rest of the game in general. And with the DLC, that was really a challenge trying to come back with something that uh, most player are gonna be okay. Like I like the twist. I like how they all blend into the whole story. The fact that it happens a little bit before and after the game, and trying to mix something in middle. So it was two challenge back to back for us, like trying to come up with a special ending and trying to find a DLC that would still fit into the original story.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I think you guys definitely succeeded on that part too. Going back to the overall design of the game. I love the like just I mean just the creepy factor behind it. I think if I were to play a game where you're just going through a grocery store in night vision, it would scare the shit out of me. But as far as I had this question, it's kind of been going through my mind because like she said, we played it twice. Was it your idea or whose idea was it to make most of the inmates in the game completely pantsless?
With perfect legs and butts.
Was that you, David? I think that was you.
I'm not responsible for that. But I'll be honest with you. I personally had for the two kind of weirdo guy that you meet into the prison. I personally had like asked the guy like Marc Antoine to have like penises on them because it was like
The two twins, right? That want to just eat
they
you.
are naked. Like it's not like they're gonna walk into the asylum like with no penis. Like it doesn't make any sense. So for me, there was no concern about that. I mean, a man has penises, so it's not a way.
Of course.
Like so, no, man. Like for me, it's
Love
not.
it.
It's
Your
not like
accent
the
makes
end of
it
the
even
world.
better.
Damn, it's just it's a. And yeah, so I asked him like, let's like do it, man. The guy's naked. Oh yeah, but what the people are gonna say? It's like,
well,
they're not gonna say that. Well, they might say, yeah, it's a penis. Yeah, but damn it, shit. Like, hey, what can we do then? Like, there's no way we can do naked.
do we put
people
a
in the
sock
game.
over it or what do we do?
So, but
I mean-
no, for the rest, like all the pants. Well, you probably know that in prison and in the
Yep.
asylum they have like a top and the bottom. It's not like they have a lot of clothes.
Right, yeah.
So, like if you try to run away, and if you lose a piece, then well, there's no much close here and there.
Exactly.
So it was part of the whole mood of the credibility of the story, and not really. We didn't do it for us. I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, let's do a game with like where everybody's naked. Like we would have do something
Well,
else.
I mean,
We would have
if
do
it's
like
me,
a freaking triple X game
Take
and
off
make
those
more
pants.
money. You know.
I would have to say that it definitely didn't distract from the scary factor of it. It was like
I think it would have made it more weird if they didn't have genitalia.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah.
Like mutated Ken dolls or something. Just run
If,
around.
if it's me and I'm in a mental institution, I'm popping those pants off.
If you're gonna go crazy, you're gonna go crazy
I'm
comfortable.
going crazy. I'm flying in the breeze while I'm doing it. You know.
Oh well, we're gonna be for sure. We're gonna be more careful for the next games about that, because we know, like, I think we did we heard about that so much. Like PewDiePie playing like the games and like zooming in and out on penises, and like, come on, man, do something else. And like I think the whole planet like sent us email about that. Like, why did you guys like? Did you want to do something? What do you want to? Are you guys that have problem with your sexuality? It's like, no, like
that's
we
not it at
don't
all.
have any issue with that. We're just part of the experience.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, as we're talking about, penises and genitalia, Eddie, one of my favorite characters, actually wanted to remove genitalia.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
right,
just
yeah.
have a question about Eddie. Like, what was your inspiration for him? Because he is so awesome. And like, I have like looked up like fan art and stuff. I don't know if you like look at fan art for Outlast, but some of it is just so awesome. And but
You're talking about Eddie Glaskin, right?
Yeah.
I know.
But I just love how in the beginning of, once Waylon comes in the room and he's like coding the computer, Eddie like bangs on the glass, and then you realize that that's him. And I just wanted to know like your inspiration behind his character.
Oh man, it was really a work of like J.D. Petty and Marc-Antoine Sénécal and Philippe. I was like, you know what? During that moment, I was mostly like trying to come up with like good design, and then people were taking care of mostly of the other characters.
Yeah.
I can't say much about that.
Okay.
But no, definitely we brainstorm a lot about like okay, who because the inspiration, it's mostly like a narrative reason why we came up with that character, because we wanted to answer all the fans why there was no women into the asylum, because like people were saying, there's no women. Like, so we said, okay, yeah, so we need a guy that is like really fucked up is in his head, and and tries to create his whole and then we need him to be like a little bit like old style, and not like running that fast.
Yeah.
So I think it came all those ideas like created that guy, and not finding a right guy and saying, okay, let's do a guy like him and then twist. It's mostly he got created by itself by all the needs that we had around the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer that I can give to you about that.
That works.
But anyway, even into there's like all the criminals records and that and papers that we did as research. There was definitely that type of guy there. So we kind of did we do the kind of cannibalism guy? No. Let's put it into that building. Did we do that guy? No. That guy's gonna be freaking creepy. Yeah, it's most like he's like psychological, and then wants to play with you, and then you're like his doll, and
So good.
So people got excited about it.
Now, David, you kind of hit it on, I guess, future games there for a second, but do you see Red Barrel Games like expanding into like taking your hand into multiplayer games?
You know what? We ask ourselves that question. But I think what made pretty much what made Outlast and DLC and now, well, we don't know for Outlast 2, but what made us those things a success is because we decided to focus on our strengths. And since all of us like has mostly experiences into building up like a strong narrative story with like adventures and puzzle and platforming elements, going into the multiplayer genre it would be a really big challenge and a really big risk for us because we don't really have the experience. We don't really have the
Mm-hmm.
experience in that. Like, even if we like Philip and I like play TF2 like over and over, at, sometimes like at night. There's no we don't feel it. I guess it's gonna be a matter of like maybe finding the right game designer that had that like talent and skills, and maybe we could switch it into doing something like multiplayer games, but definitely not into the horror genre. I would say it's not like I never found like multiplayer games with a twist of horror really effective.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So there was the obscure one and two. I think from Ubisoft they tried to do an horror game like where you can at any time like switch, like let the player enter into the game, but using a keyboard and the other one using the gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you got to focus at some point, and I think as the small indie company, we're not ready to allow the like to yeah to go into big risk like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for now. I would say.
So your main focus just right now is kind of either horror or not. It's just one person, and you focus on the story being effective and everything like that. Like,
Yeah, but well, we want to deliver what the other big studio are not doing.
right.
So
You want to
it's
stick out. You want to
like
be unique from other games.
so that's the thing. And since multiplayer uh requires like a lot of like has demand a lot of player while we're trying to focus on some niche,
Okay.
it would be at the complete opposite direction.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Understandable.
I know some friend of mine here in Montreal that like try to do like on PS4 the how it's called, it's the game that like, you can play for the tiny brains. I know those guys, and those guys decided to focus on that aspect, like multiplayer and things. But on our side, like, going into that way wouldn't. We don't see it for now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good question.
Just curious.
Just
yeah. I
really
didn't-
out of
yeah.
curiosity, So, I can't help but to ask this question: is there any info that you can give us on Outlast 2?
Any info?
Anything
What
at
can I
all?
say to
Because
you
we
about that?
really can't wait for it.
Well, I can tell you that it's on the. It's definitely we didn't want the player to be in the same environment because most of the time, what makes a good horror game is by like not having any references. So like playing again into the Asylum would be for us a mistake, like because the player have already experienced that,
Right. Yeah. Makes
and
sense.
we did the DLC, and I think we did it. I think so. We wanted to turn the page on that. So it's on a different setting, but the same time zone, I would say. Like it happens in the uh, same kind of time as Hotas. And by that I mean, it's not like back in 14 or before Jesus Christ, or it's the same. It happens during the same time, so we can mix up the story
Mm-hmm.
with like the whole things, and me and having a new main character, and like playing with different things, so the player has no um, no way to say, oh yeah, it's I know what is this and that.
Right.
So,
To like
but
compare
that's
it to,
pretty
like,
much the same. That's the only thing I can say because we're gonna come up with some hints here and there. We're looking for a way to show all those elements uh, to the to the, I would say to the world. It just we need time to make sure that we do the right thing because spoiling too much maybe is gonna hurt us and we want to focus just making sure that we focus on the quality before like going into like it's gonna be that and we have to focus on something now.
absolutely. Yeah, we understand. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
take your time if you need to. We just
Yeah,
really look
well,
forward to it.
otherwise, like people are gonna say this and that, and then sometimes like what you're hearing from the outside like might impact your decision, and sometimes there's just too many comments, and then you don't know, and you become out of focus because you want to make sure that everyone likes it.
Yeah.
While the success of Outlast One was something that we knew what we wanted to do, and we said that's what we're gonna give to the players, and not trying to make a game for them specially, but uh, we were listening to the fans. But like doing a game like that, like answer all the question to the fan, they would be like, well, I know everything.
Yeah.
They would know the whole story. They would know. So sometimes we want to make sure that we're giving them like special things that they have no doubts. Like so that
Especially
it's gonna be good.
especially when things can change in the process too. You don't want to say something and then something changes and then
Yeah,
they're expecting it in
then
the
it's
game
different,
or
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. But
yeah, like false promises and
right. And especially, I mean, if your focus is on, I guess you said, making a game, if it's going to be Outlast 2 to kind of still be different than the first one,
Yeah.
Story driven.
but still the same in the way that how effective it was. So
yeah, yeah. Well, it's like the atmosphere and the pacing. We're gonna work on it as well, because like I would say we worked a lot on the physical fear of in Outlast One, and now we're trying to bring up like a psychological fear into his head of the player. So it has us a lot of work, and then making sure that it's well balanced, and we really pinpoint the right things. Don't know how to say it. It's just like
Yeah.
requires us more time to build up the fear for this one.
right.
Yeah.
All right, so I just have one final question about
Yeah.
Outlast 1 and Whistleblower. Do you have a written down ending for how Waylon turns out? Because he submits the footage and then he closes the laptop and then it's over. And I'm just like, I don't know what to think. Did he get killed? Did he get like arrested or hunted down? Like, do you have a definite ending for him or is it just really left it to interpretation?
Actually, you know what happened is like we didn't close that door because we are not ready to say that nothing's gonna happen with
Okay.
those characters. We
Okay.
still like wants to because right now, well, I can't say, but we're working on something else in parallel. So we
Oh my
by
God.
knowing we had okay that character, this Outlast 2, we could do something else with that, and then because that character is definitely important and interesting too. So it's
Okay.
yeah.
That excites me a little bit.
The teen reacts videos. Have you seen those with that when they're playing Outlast?
The what you said the team?
The teens react videos on YouTube when they're playing the Outlast games and they're on camera like freaking out playing the game. Have you seen those?
I know I haven't seen all of them.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I went to on your Red Barrel site. I'm sure if I saw someone post about those, and
They're funny though. They are
Yeah,
definitely
they are
funny.
really awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? These days we're so into Outlast 2 that like we, there's probably hundreds of videos about that, and we didn't pay attention to all of them. It's just like I know that like there was whole movie, whole YouTube movie about like just guy trying and faking the fact that it's real Outlast and in their houses and they put batteries and
I haven't
and
seen
paper
that.
on ground. It's like, oh man, the guy is like really into it. And
Really into it.
there was some prank about it too. We I what I saw something. It's what's freaking cool. It's I think it was the subject on YouTube was like 18 guys drunk playing Outlast. And
18,
you
my
can like
lordy.
just watch this. It's so hilarious. All those guys are like, run! And then you can like I don't know how they can really play Outlast. You know, like it's meant to be like a game where you're alone in the dark. But now it's like it seems like there's like 12 guys in the background. One guy's playing, and everybody's yelling and with beaters, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these teens reacts videos, they're hilarious because and it goes. I get back, kind of goes back to what you said. I guess you have like a lot of females like this game because there's a couple females that are playing, and it's hilarious because they're looking at just their screens and their reactions to, and they put the clips up too of like what scenes they're playing, and it's just hilarious of just of them like their reactions and playing. It's great.
Yeah, but you almost feel bad about it. It's like the person at that time like almost have an heart attack, and then you're laughing. It's like crazy.
Well, they're doing it to themselves, so
Yeah.
They knew what they were getting themselves into when they hit start.
Well, just a small thing. Like there was a friend of mine that knew that I was doing Outlast. It's like 2 years ago, and the only thing we had was the trailer, the original trailer, where like you go down the elevator and you walk around, and she wanted to be kind to me, and then she just like forward the YouTube video to all of the company where she works, and it happened to be a place where I don't know, like people were not like really healthy and always sitting on chairs, and one of the guy was kind of I would say he was big, and he got like something. They had to call the ambulance because he had some problem with his heart when he watched the freaking movie.
Oh man!
And I was feeling so bad. Like, did you? And I got the whole text, and I was like really panicking, and then writing down to her is like, "Are you kidding me? Like the guy, yeah, the ambulance is there." It's like,
okay,
oh,
well,
Oh my
oh
god!
my gosh,
it's like it's a trailer. It's not a
just a
game.
trailer.
The guy he wasn't supposed to see that, and you know what happened? What happened? I think the guy came back and he bought the game.
I was gonna say, like, don't give that guy a
It was not
PlayStation.
enough, and he decided to play it, and he said like it's awesome.
Wow, he was that affected. He
I
was just like,
don't understand the human being now.
Yeah,
this game gave me a heart attack. I'm gonna get it. I gotta get this game.
Well, it was not just to be clear. It was not a real heart attack. It was a small attack. Like he felt really bad, and but like for what I know, he didn't have to be. He got brought to the hospital, but nothing really bad happened. It was just something. It's a mix of emotion and health condition, and not really in shape, and
your game just being
and
really,
shock.
really scary looking.
so that the special one for you.
yeah. There should be like a disclaimer: may cause
Yeah,
heart events or something.
Disclaimer: killed a man.
That's well over an M rating, I think.
yeah.
So, David, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us and discuss this amazingly scary game. We really appreciate
thank
it.
It was great.
you.
Thanks.
You know what? Thanks to you guys. I think I had more fun. I probably have more fun than you, like just talking about it. It's our baby, you know. So we're really happy how the thing turns out. For us at Red Barrels, we still have like a lot of challenges, like starting a company and then shipping a game that works right, like for our first game, even if we had experience before. Was something that we didn't really expect, and now we're dealing with all that, and it's like, oh man, it's going so fast. But I would say, like, thanks to the fans, that they are really behind us. They are really great, and that's why we're deciding to give them another game that I hope they're gonna enjoy.
Well,
I will.
we definitely look forward to
I already
it.
know I will.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess
right.
everybody keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, keep up the great work. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
Definitely,
you very
man.
All right,
Thanks.
take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks to you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was a lot of fun.
Oh,
That was great. Great
I love his
convo.
accent.
His accent is incredible.
I know.
Dude.
Great combo though.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I can't.
gave us
wait
lots
to
of info.
see.
I mean,
oh
it
my
was-
God.
I
got to dive-
I cannot fucking wait.
We got to dive
play a
into
sequel.
Waylon.
a lot of
Waylon.
Outlast.
Waylon and Trager.
It is cool that we're getting scoops on like upcoming stuff from these people.
And he had a good time with us too.
Yes.
We get a lot of fun.
That's what's
That's
up.
always fun when someone likes you said, likes to talk to us. They get excited to talk too.
Yeah.
So
Well, we are neat.
We are neat.
I think he meant more talking about the stuff that he was talking about.
Right, exactly. So, again, thanks to David.
Yeah,
Thanks to
thank
everybody
you.
Yeah.
for listening. Until next time.
Until the time of the next we talk to you.
Before we end, can we recommend Daredevil to people? We didn't get to cover it, and we're not going to get to cover it.
Well, I figured
In
like let's
depth.
all like watch it. Get
Everyone watch
several
it.
episodes into it.
I'm going to give you the recommendation now.
I will too. I've watched the first
Absolutely.
episode and
It's
that's
pretty dark and pretty gritty, and I really like it.
great.
I saw on the internet somebody made it. They were like, I got a new great drinking game for the show Daredevil. They were like, drink every time he's blind. I was like, Jesus Christ.
okay. So you're gonna drink for
Jesus
50 minutes
Christ.
straight.
They should drink every
was like, what the
time he gets his ass
Wait,
whooped.
is he
'cause it's
blind?
frequent.
Yeah.
That's
He gets his.
yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
heard a million.
No
like
spoilers,
I've
no spoilers.
just
He
seen
loses
really
his
good
vision,
things
and,
about
like,
this
he
show,
gets-
but I don't know anything.
In the
about him.
show, he like pushes an old man out of traffic and gets like hit by a truck, and then the chemicals like spill into his eyes, and he loses his sight.
That
but-
sucks.
It enhances all his other senses, and he can like.
You'll see.
But it's really good, and
We'll dwell
yeah.
more on it once we.
Yeah,
we
I
we
can't really. I
definitely
won't
get
want to
through
say
it.
anything about
in
it
a
because
future,
like
in a future episode, we'll
I don't want to
definitely
ruin
talk
anything
about
for you guys. But Kingpin's really good.
Cool.
It's good.
it. Sweet.
Cool.
On that note, until next time.
Bye.
See ya.